Hello everybody, I am Mike from the Rewatch Project with Hannah and Mike podcast, and I am back with another edition of Front Row, these music reaction videos, and I am back in the wonderful world of Bruce Springsteen with another one of these fortnightly drip drops of music from the upcoming Lost Albums, aka Tracks 2 sets that I am positively salivating to get my hands on. So this is a song from the, I believe, the Western Stars session. So that would have been around 2010, I believe. So I don't know whether it's reasonable to expect something in that kind of California pop orchestral, Jimmy Webb, Glenn Campbell, Aaron Copland kind of space. So we will find out very shortly. So I'm a lifelong Springsteen fan. I'm really looking forward to delving into Tracks 2. I'm going to go track by track on that. Going to use the word tracks a lot in the future here, aren't I? And I hope you'll join me for that. But in the meantime, I would like to remind you to check out the other content on this channel, including the Rewatch Project of Hannah and Mike, the podcast that shares this feed, where my wife Hannah and I go back and rewatch some of our favourite film and television franchises, in addition to the other film, TV, and music, and general pop culture related goodness that also cohabits this channel, including all manner of other reaction videos as well. Quick reminder that I do pause these songs, I do talk over them. That is just how I choose to react. This is a pure first time listen. I will stop and give thoughts as the song goes on. I know that is not to everybody's taste. That can be frustrating for a certain type of viewer. So you have been forewarned, although I would suggest that you do not follow my terrible example and that you, in fact, listen to this song in its entirety before I spoil it and talk all over it and pause it and do all manner of other antisocial things. Likes and subscribes, very much appreciated. Subscriptions make a huge difference to the channel. It helps people find us. It results in more communication, more chat, more feedback, more community, and ultimately that is the primary motivator for doing these with a greater level of regularity. And last but not least, I would also encourage you to donate via PayPal to the channel to help with the upkeep. But as is always the case, please only do so if you can without causing yourself any financial hardship. I'm still very happy to interact and take recommendations. And, there's no paywall here, but it's very much appreciated if you can do that. So, Sunday Love, interesting song title there. Sounds a bit like a Krista Burr song, doesn't it? All right, so new Bruce Springsteen. Well, new to me, Bruce Springsteen. I don't get to say that every day, but there's going to be a real drop of this pretty soon. So, gosh, it's always exciting when you're going to hear new Bruce. I've quite liked, to some degree or another, all of the songs that have dropped so far. Let's see if the streak continues.
Monday brings the blues. I put on my shirt and tie. Some way I get by. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday brings the same.
This is another in a long line of list songs by Bruce, isn't it? We've had Without You, and also some of his covers as well. I think like 7 Nights to Rock as well. Bruce does that. And also one of the things that he does very well as a songwriter, I think this is just the kind of tableaus he's able to paint as a storyteller, as a lyricist, is this, the mundanity, the repetition, whether it's Jack of all trades or, there's a lot of Bruce songs that do this. The kind of you do the dishes, I'll clean out the kennel kind of thing. That sort of everyday minutia. But so far piano led. Not a big fan of Bruce when he goes too easy listening. I'm not a huge fan of some of his more overwrought stuff. Like I think of I'll Stand By You Always and Back in Your Arms Again. They've never really done that much for me, and I'm getting a little bit of a flavour of that here, so that's a little bit concerning, but I am only 40 seconds into the song, so let's continue.
Sunny skies come rain, paper and coffee on the train. As the weekend rolls around, it's another lonely night on the town.
His voice sounds very nice, though.
A stranger's kiss at the door, but it's not what I'm looking for. I never had a Sunday love.
Beautiful arrangement.
Flowers in and champagne. I never had a Sunday love, long walks in the rain. Each night I pray, each night I pray to God above. Oh, I've never had a Sunday love.
And it's interesting as well because I can see why this, was it the Twilight Hours? Is that what the album's called? The sort of album within the album? I can see why this would be separated out from Western Stars, because there are some superficial similarities. You know, there's that kind of almost like Burt Bacharach kind of sound to it. But lyrically, you know, this is much more romantic, and whereas Western Stars was very thematic and very much about, you know, the beaten and weathered determination of those who are, you know, a little bit long in the tooth. You know, the analogy of like stuntmen and Hollywood and cowboys and people past their prime, but the kind of dogged determination, you know, that to me was the defining thematic elements of Western Stars, and this wouldn't really fit there, but perfectly pleasant so far. Let's keep going.
I drag myself to the sink, run a razor across my chin, a spray of cologne for each sin. Tuesday,
it's a nice lyric.
Thursday, it all goes great, till you come walking my way. God give me strength to say.
Bruce's voice was great around this early 2010s.
Come the weekend, I wear out the soles of my shoes, trying to walk off these lovers' blues, only to end up at your door. I'll say a prayer in just 2 steps more. I never had.
Oh, nice backing vocals.
Sunday love.
Can you hear Patty there, I think?
And champagne. I never had a Sunday love, long walks in the rain. Each night I pray to God above.
Beautiful vocal from Bruce.
I never had a Sunday love.
Oh. Gone big. Oh.
Never had a Sunday love. Flowers and champagne. I never had.
Almost like chamber pop, sort of baroque chamber pop.
Long walks in the each night I pray to God above. I never had a Sunday love. Oh, I never had a Sunday love. Flowers and champagne. I never had a Sunday love. Long walks in the rain.
Amazing percussion. Is that Max?
I never had a Sunday love. Oh, I never had a Sunday love.
Almost a hint of Sinatra, like latter Sinatra. Okay, so, I mean, one of the things that's linked all of these releases so far is that, you know, we're left of E Street here, aren't we? You know, this is very much Bruce, solo Bruce, you know, not literally, but, you know, non-E Street Bruce. And this is one of those modes. And I think one of the things that's starting to become really clear to me, the more we hear about from these projects that didn't come out, is that Bruce definitely went through a phase. I think he went through one in the 90s, but I think he definitely went through one sort of between, I guess, Magic right through to Wrecking Ball, really, where he seemed as much interested as much in sonics as songwriting. Whereas before it was all about the song. He seemed very interested in sounds. And this is another one, along with Adelita. And also, I guess, maybe all of these, certainly Adelita and certainly Rain in the River, where I think the songs, to a certain extent, are saved by how they are sonically, are saved by the musicality of them. And I don't say that disparagingly, because that's an important part of the song. I just think that what we're hearing here is that Bruce's focus is different. This isn't about the song itself is, pretty cliched. I mean, it's using the cliches. It's saying, I never had this Sunday love. I never had the, walks in the rain and champagne in bed and all this. So it's using, I don't want to say subverting, but it's using the cliches. But it's a very simple song lyrically. But what elevates this is how it sounds. And how it sounds is really interesting because, like Western Stars, and I guess to a certain extent, some of Working on a Dream, this idea of this orchestral pop. And, everybody from, Brian Wilson is an obvious person to mention. Rest in peace, passed away these last couple of days. And again, Jimmy Webb, Glenn Campbell, Bacharach and David, all of these sort of people. But also, the Mums and the Papas and these kind of... the 60s, the lush 60s pop music, from, the Canyon. But also here, I'm almost hearing a little bit of Britpop. I'm hearing people like the Divine Comedy and, chamber pop, English, more modern pop music. So, I really enjoyed that, but primarily on the basis of how it sounds. And that definitely is a theme. Whether it be Blind Spot, all of these songs have got something that is somewhat left of center for Bruce. And we do see that in the things that he releases, obviously Nebraska, Devils and Dust, certainly things like the Sega Sessions, and, even The Rising in its time were sound departures for Bruce. But on songs like this and much of Western Stars and, Adelita, so the Inyo album as well, from what we hear, I don't think it's that he's bailing out poor songs with lavish sonics. I think that he's very much as interested in how the songs sound as in what they're saying. And I think that's a very different thing for Bruce. But beautiful performance, beautiful recording. So looking forward to hearing more. I'll be covering all of tracks. It'll take me a while. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do reactions to most, if not all, of tracks 2 when it comes out. And a quick reminder that there are reaction videos, other Bruce reaction videos, but other music reaction videos on this channel, in addition to the Rewatch Project podcast and a bunch of other stuff as well. So likes and subscriptions, very much appreciated, as is feedback as well. Feedback's a really big thing as well. If you can't afford to support the podcast and support the channel through PayPal donations, that is quite understood. But yeah, just let me know that you're out there. Let other people know about the channel. And looking forward to talking more Bruce Springsteen in just a couple of weeks when the album itself comes out. So, see you soon.